right. Thank you for tuning. Wide at 7. Pasha Pyro. Welcome to the replay. So, y'all know what I'm here for. On Wide at 7, we illustrate how etymology helps you leverage the law of attraction, and how everything's pretty much connected to that in some way, shape, or form. And today, it's going to be no different. Today, what we're going to talk about is tragedy. We're going to call this one, What's the Real Tragedy? Question mark. The alphabet. And we're going to see if tragedy has a connection, or we're actually going to see how, rather, tragedies have a connection to letters or learning. So let's get into it. Pasha Pyro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. No replay. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to get into this right here. So let's start with, this happens over and over and over again, right? You're scrolling down your Facebook feed, you're scrolling down your Instagram feeds, and you see all of the reaction already. So what's interesting is there's a lot of emotional reacting, but what responses are being prepared? And that 5P statement about proper preparation prevents poor performance, that kind of meant you needed to be prepared ahead of time to perform at your best during the now time. Okay? So that maybe there's something that we might be missing, that we could be in tune with prior to actually create a better ending in many cases. Let's just consider the possibility. Now, I know how a lot of people feel. And today, tomorrow, yesterday, last week, it shifts, and it's different people in different places. But when it's your team that's affected by it, it means the most to you at that moment. When it happens to the other team, people on this team over here may not be as conditioned or motivated to comment, respond, demand change to the rules or whatever. But if you're a Eagles fan or a Miami Heat fan, and some rule affects the Lakers or the Rams, you might not have as much to say about it. But how many people on that other team is going to say, you know what? We got to look at this situation because it's affecting the whole league. This is original picture of the Bonnie and Clyde car after the ambush. How long has unnecessary force been going on? when you look at this card, crimes committed or not, I'm not saying these pictures all here are actually authentic pictures, but you get the idea. Crimes committed or not, with the amount of bullet holes riddled in this card, how much force is required before you reach unnecessary force? And how long has unnecessary force been going on? I couldn't find pictures of the, I ain't gonna say I couldn't find, I actually didn't look for pictures from the Roman Empire. I didn't look for pictures from the Egyptians. I didn't look for pictures from the Sumerians. I'm just gonna stop here at Bonnie and Clyde. How long has this been going on? Is this truly something new? Is this truly something recent? Is this something that only affects people like you? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Because why? Because what's the real tragedy is the alphabet. Because when you don't put that shit together right, there's a loose connection between letters and or learning. So everything else almost has been tried. What have you not tried yet? This is a picture from the OK Corral. When you look at that picture, when you look into that history, that was all about corrupt police force. A rival police force that wanted to be the police force. The corruption actually taking out people that were like the posse or the legitimate crew on the sheriff's side in a war to get power of that sheriff's position in the city or the town, whatever you want to call that. What do you call that? How long has this been going on? Is this something new? Let's look at what tragedy actually means. Because we're dealing with some tragedies, but when you ask why this happened, and you say, oh, okay. And you ask why that happened, and you say, oh, I see that. And then you go, why again? And you keep just asking why. You come back to an origin that allowed the whole domino process to fall into place. That's what we need to do instead of being stuck at the last domino, emotionally attached to the last domino when there's 47 other ones that fell to put this one in place to fall on our heads. And we have 47 different chances to stop this domino from falling on us, but we just let them all fall, and we gonna start crying about this last one, and like we don't understand that there's stuff called a chain reaction. What's the origin of the problem? What's the true solution? What's the real tragedy? Let's see what a tragedy is. Tragedy is a play or other serious literary work having an unhappy ending. A tragedy is a play or other serious literary work having an unhappy ending. Now, if you feel like it, by all means, take time and hit pause and read the rest of the definition. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on because I just threw this together for you real quick. And I want you to get something right now. What is a play? You already know what a play is. They got it here as game, martial sport, activity of children, joke or jesting. What you're dealing with at the origin of a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of things, a lot of what you call tragedies is wordplay. It's only happening because of a play on words. See, the literary part means pertaining to letters of the alphabet. Originally. Later, it came from some stuff that was, we trace it back, it comes from belonging to letters of learning. I'm not biblical, y'all know that, but the books say, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. So I had to make you my business to share this with you so that maybe some of y'all won't perish next week due to lack of knowledge. Get rid of the emotional attachments, because what you're looking at, what you're emotionally attached to, may be killing you. It may not be true. You may not have checked it. You just listened to what someone told you when you were 3 years old and you stuck with it your whole life and never checked it. So you done signed a contract, verbally or in writing, and you complaining about the terms and agreements you agreed to. Why? Because tragedy is a play or serious literary work having an unhappy ending. This is why you don't hear me say good morning. It's always good day, because we ain't in mourning over here. Now look, let's look at this detail here. Now we already know, before somebody jump in the comments, statistics can be manipulated and statistics can be used to prove anything. But I'm gonna show you something with this data right here. What this is the number of police killings per group over the years, and it's all organized for you with colors and everything. Okay? This from Wikipedia. I didn't make this. So I already put the disclaimer out there. I'm not guaranteeing you this is accurate. I'm not saying it's down to the exact number, but it's gonna show the same point if you look at the equation and not get caught on an emotional attachment to some variable. Now listen, here we have what they call the white category. And if you look in 2017, they're claiming that 457 people of what you would call white status was murdered by police and or killed, whichever word you feel like you're more comfortable with. They stopped breathing because of the police. Now in 2018, they saying they're claiming it was 399, 370, and then so far this year, or whatever month this data was actually accumulated up to, they're saying 42 of them perished. So that's let's round it off to 4, that's 8, 450, that's 1250, that's 1,300 people that you would call white in 1, 2, 3 and a half or so years were killed by the police. Then they get over here, and this number, I'm not guaranteeing you these numbers are accurate, but they say we're looking at for the people you call black, 223 people in 2017, 209 people, 235 and 31. Now you got the Hispanic category supposedly coming in third with 179, 148, 158 and 13. These ain't Powerball numbers. Then you got the other category with 44, 36, 39, and 3. Whatever you want to consider other. Now, there's this unknown factor. And I know there's going to be somebody out there saying all of the unknowns are black people. Well, even if you want to say that's true, I'm going to use that for you and still prove the point that I'm going to make. If you add the 84 from the blue to the blue, you're looking at about 300. And I'm not showing that to say, hey, look, we're still less than, or you guys or black people are still less than white people, whatever. All right? If you add the 204 to the 209, you're looking at maybe like a little over 400, 413. If you add the 200 to the 235, you see you get the picture. You know what I'm doing here. It's 437. All right, they got 139 in the red. That's supposedly this year. If you put all of them on here, that makes like 170, 180 for this year. If you added all, if you said no way, we know that all of those unknowns are going in the black category. If that's the argument you want to make. Now, there may be some white people that's saying the same thing. All of those unknowns are white people. They're killing us too. The Hispanics might be saying it's them. Everybody is making the same claim for the same digits every time the tragedy, quote unquote, occurs. Because a tragedy is a play or other serious literary work having an unhappy ending. Now, if the problem is happening to people that look like you, whoever you are, as Kenneth E.A., however you say his name, said, how one tragedy affects so many others, it allows the same tragedy to happen to those people over there, to happen to those people over there, to happen to those people over there. It allows it to happen to you. It doesn't just affect you. It allows it to happen to you by allowing it to happen to others. And once you realize it's happening to everybody, you can say, wait a minute. We're not in this by ourselves. And it's going to take everybody or a representation from everybody. You don't need everybody to do anything. You need a critical mass. So if you want to make a difference, you're going to have to get with the white people. White people, you're going to have to get with the black people. We're going to need to talk to the Hispanics. And there's some other and some unknowns that's definitely got something to say too. Then you can try to figure out what's going on. Let's just start there. I'm not even going to go deep on you and tell you what the real issue is. I'm going to tell you where to start at. Because the first thing you got to do is get that wrapped around your heads so you can stop pointing fingers, because we covered in the other video on YNet 7 on grief. When you're in the emotion of grief, you place in blame. Blame comes from the emotion of grief. So when you learn to control your emotions, you're not in grief. And when you're not in grief, you don't place blame. And when you're not busy blaming people, you're actually doing something to make a difference. Tragedy is a play or other serious literary work having an unhappy ending. And if you need some help translating that into why I'm saying that to you now, then go back and watch the video on Exodus 21, 20 through 21. And I don't even do biblical stuff. This is such a disappointment on so many fronts. I'm not even giving y'all a card tonight. Think about that and just think about that. Start there. Pasha Paro, YNet 7. Thank you for tuning the replay.